Alright, welcome back everybody to Mina the Hollower. Found out that my microphone was attached to my OBS, only to find out that it wasn't actually recording my voice, because every so often when a computer updates or does other stupid shit that it shouldn't do, well, updating is good, desyncing my microphone from OBS is not. So instead of actually recording this live, I have to record this in post. Isn't this fun? Well, Chris, how the hell do you have video and audio? You know, 'cause that is recorded in a slightly different way. So my audio and video did not desync on OBS, but my microphone did. So I'm kind of pissed now. I'm like pissed for like 14 different reasons today. I'm like partway through watching Hunter x Hunter, and I got past the arc. Well, I'm most of the, I guess I should put it this way, I am most of the way past the arc where they are, where the 12-legged spider troop shows up and murders everything, including all of the characters they introduced earlier, and having one of those Brian moments. I don't know if anyone, this is kind of an old Family Guy reference, but he talked about being a blind guard dog and took his master, or at least for the sake of this joke, he took his master to the movie theater, and he's describing what's happening in the movie theater. And as I got further into that season, it very much felt like that, where it was like nothing's happening, nothing's happening, nothing's happening, and it's over, and the audience looks pissed. Yeah, that's kind of how I felt, because there was a lot of like promise and lead up in that season, and they decided, nah, fuck it, we're not actually going to do anything other than murder a bunch of no-name characters nobody cares about. We're going to introduce them as sort of play, which is not unusual for anime to introduce placeholder characters and be like, look how strong these guys are. They've got all these really ridiculous powers, and then they introduce the enemy, and the enemy's like, I just clipped my fingernail at you and you're dead. And you're like, okay, I guess, okay, you set up the point that they're really as strong as you thought these characters are that you just introduced. They're nothing. They're nothing compared to the villains. Okay, great. But then you proceed to have one battle between one of the main characters and one of the troop members, and then you sort of like play around with the rest of the season as to whether or not any of the other main characters are going to be involved, or any of the other troop members are going to fight, and you just fucking piss around with it for a season, and nothing happens. Because either something happened while writing the manga or the anime or something, I don't know what, but basically they decided, yeah, we're gonna basically tease you for 20-30 episodes, and then nothing's gonna happen in the end. We're gonna neuter the ending. Did I want them to all like have like a little like tournament fight where the main character has to take on 5 guys at once, and or one of the main characters? No. Did I want something more than to just have nothing happen? Yeah. And there's a lot of sort of understated things that happen in the show that I just sort of had to scratch my head at. And again, I'm basing this on what they call order seasons. Okay? So when I got to the last episode of season 3, I stopped watching. So if something happens in episode 1 of season 4, and so be it. But like, I kind of felt like, okay, so I presume wrecking buddy. Okay, cool. I better move out of the way there. Didn't realize there was going to be a final last-ditch attempt to kill me. So we reached the choo-choo train. On the one hand, it looks like, well, that's a shortcut, yes. On the one hand, it looks like the train wrecked. On the other hand, I'm telling you from the fact that this is in the past now, that no, it's in fact an actual either ghost train or choo-choo train going around. Of course, the mirror dimension will eventually end up here. Again, when we want to progress the storyline after doing the remainder of the ice area. Okay. And no, I have not unlocked the lock for the crypt yet. I keep meaning to do that. I haven't done it yet. I'm eventually going to do it. But as we speak right now, not happening. So, yeah, and I looked at a gold. Yeah, don't ask me why I looked at a gold skull there that's worth what 100 or 200 bones, and said, "Yeah, I'm not gonna collect that. I don't know." Again, I'm a little mad about 3 different things that are all going on at the same time. So just have to bear with me as I'm playing, you know, narrating this after the fact. Oh, it went in the pit. That's what happened. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, so gold skulls are worth 200. So don't ask me why I decided that this would be a good idea, because that also gets smushed. And yes, I am going to attempt, in a second, I'm going to attempt to burrow underneath this. Well, I'm going to die first, but then I'm going to attempt to burrow underneath the rock, moving back and forth, even though there's literally nothing left in this area. I'm going to attempt to burrow under it, only to find out that, no, you can't burrow under this rock. Why? I don't know. Because the developer said, you're allowed to burrow under everything, but not this one. No, this one goes all. This one's made of a high core, high tensile diamond that you can't break, and it goes all the way straight to the core of the earth. Even though this is up in Mirror World, it goes all the way straight to the core of the earth, so you can't possibly burrow underneath of it. Hello today, hello yesterday, hello tomorrow, etc, etc, etc. Eventually we're going to make our way to the train area. That'll be fun. We'll fight the boss on the train, and then we'll move towards Mirror World again. So those aren't all going to occur in the same episode, but they're going to be occurring in the next 2 to 3 episodes, I'd say. Also, Medusa heads, but in the form of flying ghost knives. I guess I can get over the fact that they are that. Not sure I understand the little spiked floaty guys. And then, you know, you're gonna see Chris's platforming skills at some of their absolute worst. Because after you got used to handling Mina on the ground, we're gonna give you a new ice mechanic that doesn't operate quite like the earth mechanic does, and we're going to give you kind of like little to no heads up as to how you're supposed to handle this. You're just supposed to sort of fucking figure it out as you play through the ice. So, yeah. For those who've played Mina before, or have played in this area long enough, you'll probably get a pretty good idea of what past Chris should have been doing. But I don't realize that at this point because, you know, sort of like when you learn something, you don't know it before you know it, and then once you do know it, it's hard to not know what you know now. Ugh. I love recording these episodes and then I just start getting bored and I start yawning and it's just like, boy, he must really be bored with playing this video game. And it's like, no, the opposite the opposite is like more true. Like if I attempted to lay down right now and take a nap, I wouldn't be able to. But the fact that, you know, This is an example of where exploring gets yourself into trouble. Where I'm at right now is actually progression, but because I haven't actually gone to this area yet, I wanted to know what it did, only to discover, oh, I could have just fucking skipped this whole section. You know, but no, I gotta go backwards, and I accidentally fall down, so now I gotta go backwards again. There we are again. Alright, let's head over to fake Mina again. You know? Ta-da! We did it. Aren't we cool? The block doesn't come all the way over, even though it should. Because that's literally, there's literally nothing stopping it from going all the way edge to edge. But it won't, because that's not how it's programmed. It's programmed to pinch me, however, as you'll see in just a second. Like that. This is one of those games that just demands you do it perfectly. I know a lot of people will disagree with that sentiment. There's a lot of freedom, there's a lot of, you know, make your own rules in terms of platforming in Mina, but every so often you run into a jump, you run into a ladder climb, a rope ladder climb, and you just go, okay, why didn't he climb that? You know? Is it a bug? Probably not. Does it require the kind of technical expertise? Yeah, no. And so now I've got the fucking sword Medusa heads on my ass. Okay, we're fine. So yeah, you're not just racing the little yellow guys up the ladder, you're also trying to dodge the fucking knives. This would be too easy just to go up, just simply go up a rope. Another shortcut. I'm sure that has probably something to do with New Game Plus, because why would you give me a shortcut between two different save areas? But what are you gonna do, right? On a train, circling peak, never stopping, Maelstrom when she wouldn't slow down. the Maelstrom started when she wouldn't slow down. So, I'm gonna die a couple times just to give you a heads up, but one of the points I made in my original recording is I kind of thought it was interesting that the ghost just told you that you're circling the peaks over and over again, so that's why you keep landing on the same train. But the fact that the likelihood of you landing on the exact same car every time is very small, if not I wouldn't say impossible, just be highly unlikely. This treasure chest is fake. The fact that they decided to make fake treasure chest with command grabs that do greater than 50% of Mina's near maxed out health. Very, very confusing. Basically, why don't you just make it a situation where the command grab does 100% of my 100% of my health every time, i.e., you got caught by the mimic, you're dead. But yes, the fact that the mimic does move slowly but surely, and then it winds up, and by the time it's wound up, it's too late to dodge. It's too late to try to dig because he's already got a bead on you, and you're not going to get under the ground before he grabs you. You just have to know that's coming, you know? No amount of being a good Mina or any other video game player can prepare you for command grab equals instant death. Or near instant death, you know. So you gotta, this game doesn't just ask you to dodge, it asks you to dodge preemptively of the actual attack. Which, I kinda understand, you know. You probably played too much Dark Souls or whatever and decided, hey, I don't like the fact that you've perfectly timed out all of these guys to the point that as they're swinging a literal sword at you and a downward chop, you decide to roll into the person using invincibility frames as the sword goes through your body and it doesn't deal any damage to you. I get the ridiculous of that, okay? The cross end of that, asking me to dodge an attack before it has even begun its first frame is ridiculous to me. I get the idea of not having a perfect dodge invincibility frames, but I don't quite get the need to not just dodge the enemy's attack, but to anticipate the attack in advance and dodge prior to its startup. Not really. Again, half damage for grab attack. So you use this. You know. You throw the snowballs. You got a limited number of snowballs to throw. Snowballs don't do any damage. Don't do much damage. You throw the little ghost things at them. They go chomp, chomp, chomp. The fact that I've been shooting them out pretty consistently, and they have not killed this thing out right. A little ridiculous to me. So now what we're going to do is just get mad, and I'm just going to go back to my usual strategy, which is invincibility frames upon death, and just keep whipping him until he's dead. Because why play the game when the game insists on being silly with its encounters? Of course, if you had the axe or you had the sword, you wouldn't have to worry about that so much. Yeah, but like if I have 80 or let's say 40 uses of the knife and I have to use 20 of them, is it really worth it? I mean, I understand taking no damage, worth it completely, but you know, having to use up half of my alt power in order to take this thing down, a little silly to me. I just need to dodge him, Chris. You know, you can see where he's gonna attack, you know, and you just need to dodge him. Yeah, how am I supposed to dodge? I've got one lane there, one lane there. Here comes the knives again. Are the knives super weak? Yes, that's fine. Okay, so going to me in relationship between this mouse Mina clone thing, okay, and the treasure chest mimic I fought, okay. I threw 2 snowballs at the Mina mimic, and it did enough damage to nearly kill it after 2 snowballs. I threw 3 at the mimic, and it barely did any damage at all. You know, the reason I'm complaining is because I know this game is a new game plus, and I know what the new game plus means. It means half as much damage, twice as much damage to you, and you've already got all your power-ups. So you know, the enemies are gonna have more defense or more health. They're gonna hit harder. They're gonna, I'm not necessarily sure if they'll have new moves, but they're definitely gonna hit you harder. So again, you're getting back to the core game design, which is don't let them hit you, because when you get hit, that's bad. And obviously that's true of any game, but we're gonna double that down. So, you know, the 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 9. We'll say about 9. I've got about 9.5 blips on Mina's health, okay? Little taps, okay? And right now the swords are doing, say, 1 to 1.5 blips of that, okay? Okay? And then we're gonna get a new game plus. I'm not gonna get a new game plus, but you're playing this game, you're gonna get a new game plus. And all of a sudden the enemies are gonna start doing double damage. And they're gonna start needing twice as much damage dealt to them. So then we just employ the, you know, the Dark Souls, Demon Souls, Bloodborne method of, yeah, I already have the levels I want. I'm just gonna run straight to the boss. So now you're playing the game where you're not engaging with any of the enemies. You're just evading them, which is a legit strategy. But like, you know, if you're a game developer and I say, okay, well, I'm gonna make a video game for you to play. And I say as the player, well, I'm not going to engage with anything you made in this game. I'm just going to run past it. Because you've incentivized me in a way that there's no point in me fighting the Blue Knight. So the best thing I can do is run away from him. Best thing I can do is run away from him. Because why would I attack him? Because the best case scenario is I kill him and I get a little bit of experience, and the worst case scenario is I die and have to do this all over again. Oh, by the way, I'm gonna die again. Because, like, I'm literally not gonna get past this screen. Because I can't figure out the ice mechanic again. I did it initially on my first attempt. I made it through this area, but now I'm not going to be able to figure out how to make this jump anymore. Through a combination of the flying fucking daggers and everything else. Little ice spikes, you know? Okay, I lied. I thought I died there. Must be thinking of something later. So this must be the run where I get all the way to the boss, and then because I've been using all of my health potions, I'm gonna have nothing left for the boss. That was fun, wasn't it? Some good quality, high quality gameplay right here. Having to stand around waiting for the ice underneath me to break. You know what 3 bells means, right? Means boss. You said free ice cream, you're wrong. Also, I've never I've never run into the situation where the ice cream man comes by, rings the bell 3 times, and he's given anything out, he or she's given anything out for free. Because his job is either to make money by selling ice cream in his ice cream truck, or it is to make money for someone else who bought the ice cream and bought the truck for him to drive around in. So, I thought this was actually a fun boss to fight. I can talk about one positive thing. The only thing I didn't understand about him is he's a ghost, okay? He's clearly floating, okay? So he must be one of those flying enemies, right? Like the bats or the crows or whatever. And I gotta wait for him to dive down. Also, is this a Shoryuken? I'm pretty sure that's an SRK. I'm pretty sure this game's got some decent fucking, what is it called? Street Fighter lore or inspiration to it. But not that I'm truly complaining, to be honest with you, but like, if he's a ghost and he's flying in the air, why am I able to hit him not from this angle, but from the angle north to south? Like if I'm standing south of him and facing north and whipping, why does that deal damage? But if I'm standing to the left or right of him, it doesn't deal damage to him. I get it's a hitbox thing, but you know, where my box is facing that direction. But again, you basically said, oh, he's floating in the air here, so you can't hit him, you have to jump. And then you say, well, no, as long as you're standing directly south of him and you're whipping directly north, yeah, you can still hit him. Just the game logic sometimes I don't get. That's fair, that was my mistake. The scrolling stage. What do I expect? Anyways, that's it for this episode. Next episode we're gonna do the same thing. Except we're gonna win.